I get asked a lot of different questions about self-storage. Here's one I got a few weeks ago. Hi Mark, my biggest hurdle I'm trying to get over is in determining how much money it's going to cost to start a facility from scratch. I know this cost varies depending on the number of factors, but could you do a case study on 3 different example facilities that cover the startup cost, what the finances look like over the first rough 2-year period? Bonus points if these case studies is an example from Canada. Well, I've never done a deal in Canada, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm not necessarily, every deal's different. It's hard to come up with case studies from the past that would be relevant today, given the amount of the difference in construction costs that there is today. But let's look at 3 deals that I or people I'm working with are looking at today. And we'll look at what does it take, how much money is going in these deals, and what do these deals look like. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Quick Start Academy, which houses the Self-Storage Bootcamp. If you happen to be seeing this in November 11 and 12, 2022, we're going to have a live virtual boot camp where I'm online and people from all over the country will be on there, and we'll have our boot camp, which will start you from wherever you are all the way to putting your first or your next self-storage facility into service. You can find out more about this upcoming boot camp if you click the link below. If you happen to be seeing this after November 2022, there will be an on-demand version of it. You can find out more about it at the link below. But let's look at some case studies. Now, I don't have the room to do the full analysis of 3 deals in an episode like this, but let's look at how much money is going in some various size deals. So I'm going to take 3 examples. Let's do example number 1, which is an expansion. So example number 1 is approximately 12,000 square feet of existing non-climate self-storage on 4 acres of land. The person I'm working with is getting this at around $1 million. I think it's $1,030,125. So the plan is to add an additional 25,000 square feet. 8,750 of it non-climate control, 16,250 square feet of it climate control. So due to the hallways, etc., in the climate control building, in essence, they're putting up an additional 28,250 square feet of new self-storage, all single-story metal building construction. Estimated cost today, we don't have the final numbers in, but $75 a square foot, hard and soft cost for that expansion. So construction's approximately $2,118,750 for a total estimated project cost of $3,121,875. You'll see all this in a minute. So the current rates for non-climate controlled space in that trade area are $8.25 a square foot, and for climate control, it's $15.65. So I don't have the room to run a full 10-year sheet, and I don't think it's appropriate because it's not my deal, it's someone else's deal. But this particular person's getting SBA financing, putting 10% down on the project. So at a 90% loan to value, they're borrowing at least $2,809,688 on the SBA loan, and they're bringing to the table approximately $312,188. With an SBA loan baked into the loan, will be the operating cost and interest rates during the lease up. So in reality, they're bringing to the table $325,000 into this deal. We think that the space will lease up around 1,200 square feet, probably better, but for the pro forma, we're putting in 1,200 square feet a month. The feasibility report will actually determine how fast it'll lease up. First year is estimated to be negative, but again, the loan will cover any negative expenses that are in the first year with the SBA loan. So the numbers are going to look something like this. Gross potential income, when stabilized, 500,000, 394, 90% stabilized occupancy. So the storage income's expected to bring in about $453,355. There'll be some other income, primarily through tenant insurance. There won't be much retail sales going on, and we went real low on the tenant insurance just to be conservative. So we're looking at income around $355,000. Operating expenses based on how this person's going to be managing the facility, they're estimated to be $162,383. So you'll have a net operating income around $292,472 the first year this project is stabilized, which is estimated to be in year 3. Net cash flow after the loan payment of almost $250,000 is $43,312. So it's about a 14% cash on cash return. And using a 7 cap to determine the value when this project stabilized will be $4,178,166. So almost $4.2 million value at a 7 cap. Now, these aren't exact numbers, but they should be fairly close. So, in essence, for about $3.3 million, some extra costs built into the actual construction cost. So for about $3.3 million cost and 300 and whatever, 10 to 325,000 going in this deal, they're going to create something worth, let's say, $4.2 million. So they've more than doubled their money in value that has been created when they hit stabilization. They've created about $900,000 worth of equity. And they've got a project that's generating about a 14% cash on cash return, which will probably only go up if they keep it. Would you do that deal? I'd do that deal. So that's an example of a small expansion, 300,000 or so into it. Let's look at another deal someone I know is doing. Let's look at a multi-story new construction project. So deal number 2. This is in a large growing MSA. This person bought 2.75 acres already zoned for storage. Still got to go through all the things you do to get, your approval process, which is about a year. But 2.75 acres, very densely packed population, large MSA, and they paid $2.3 million for that 2.75 acres. Now, rents in that particular market for climate-controlled space appear to be $1.85 a month. It looks like hard and soft costs, not including the land, hard and soft costs for this project are running about $120 a square foot today to build that project. So if you look at construction costs, $120 a square foot plus land costs, looks like we have a project cost in the neighborhood of $10,940,000. This is going to be syndicated, doesn't matter, but so we're getting a regular bank loan during this time, a 75% loan to value, 25% has to go in as equity. So the loan looks like between land acquisition and construction, the loan's going to be about $8,205,000. And the equity going in this deal is $2,735,000. Interest rate's been quoted at 6, probably going to change, but it was quoted at 6. We underwrote it initially at 6%, going up a little bit. It's estimated to take 34 months to hit stabilization once leasing commences. So let's look at the numbers. When stabilized, the project's going to be generating $1,694,304 gross potential income. At 90% occupancy, storage income will be about $1.5 million. Other income coming in between fees, tenant insurance, retail, 24.5 almost. Total income, $1,549,325 when it's stabilized. Estimated to be in year 4. Operating expenses are estimated to be $557,756. How this person runs their business. So we've got an NOI, net operating income, of estimated to be almost $1 million, $991,567. The following year it'll go over $1 million. Loan payments, which probably going to go up a little bit, $634,739. Net cash flow $357,188. So we're looking at a current cash-on-cash return of about 13% and estimated value at a 7 cap slightly over $14 million. So you can see the first year they hit stabilization, they will have created about $3 million worth of value. And they have almost $3 million going in. Is this a deal we would do? Don't know. This person's leaning towards doing it. This is going to be a long-term hold. They're not looking at just getting in and getting out. It's getting close. If interest rates go up, cap rates go up, this deal becomes less and less attractive. Construction costs are what are really hampering this. If it can be valued engineered to some degree and that 120 comes down, it's a much better deal. But based on this person's strategy, this is, at least at this point, this is a deal they're leaning into. And this is probably going to be $2.7 to $3 million worth of equity in to create a $14 million project, or a 14.5 project. Let's look at the third deal. This is a deal I really like because it includes two things I'm real bullish on right now in this market. One is conversions and the other is boat and RV storage. So here's a project where we've been looking at an industrial building on 10 acres of land in a fairly hot, fairly dense market where industrial land, which is what's needed for boat and RV storage in this area of the country, is in short supply. And came across a 52,000 square foot building on 10 acres. I like conversions right now because typically it costs less to create a conversion generating income than new construction at the moment. I can generally start getting income quicker than new construction at the moment. I like boat and RV storage because it occurs like an underserved market in many parts of the country. In my experience, as we've gone into lease up, our storage leases up at 3 to 5, 6% of our square feet per month, depending on how healthy the market is. Boat and RV, or parking storage, can rent at 10% of our total square feet per month in a lease-up situation. Now in the building, preliminary analysis, we assumed we could get 45% efficiency for parking in there. Not very high compared to storage, and the rents are a lot less, but the development cost is a lot less, and I can start getting income a lot quicker. But 45% efficiency in the 52,000 square foot building, and assuming we get 50% efficiency on the balance of the land for boat and RV parking, it looks like we can get about another 175,000 square feet of income producing space on the balance of that 8 acres. I'm carving 2 out for the building and parking and truck turnaround. So assume we're going to get a feasibility report if we move forward with this to verify the demand for that much parking and RV, but it sure looks like it down there because rents are going at 75 cents a square foot for surface parking or gravel parking in that trade area, and you can't get a spot. So we upped the rent 20% for inside the building, and we left it at the current rate for the balance of the space on the land. I'm going to assume rehab on the building just to clean it up, do some work on the exterior, paint the inside, stripe it, get the parking places laid out. I'm putting in $25 a square foot for the building, and who knows, but I mean, it shouldn't be this much, but I'm putting in $50 a square foot development cost for the 175,000 square feet of parking on the 8 acres. So the numbers ought to look something like this. Acquisition costs for the existing project, 10 acres, and the 52,000 square foot building, a whopping $2 million. Building rehab, $25 a foot, $1.3 million. Parking development on 8 acres, $8,750,000. That would also allow us to put up some canopies in part of it if we needed to. Total project cost, preliminary pro forma, $12,050,000. Building, it looks like the GPI would be about 280, almost 281. 281,000. Economic occupancy, 88%. Trying to be conservative. NOI close to 250 in the building. Land at 75 cents a square foot, 1,575,000. That doesn't account for any canopy parking, which we actually have some money in the budget for, but we'll see. 88% occupancy, almost 1.4 million. So total income, didn't include any other ancillary incomes, 1,663,104 when stabilized. We estimate our operating expenses would be about $538,924 with an NOI of about almost 1.1 million. 75% loan, 6.25% interest, I think what was factored in. So loan payments in the $715,000 range. So net cash flow, $378,769. That's almost a 13% cash on cash return with our inflated development costs. Value, $0.6 million at a 7 cap. So if our development numbers we inflated are high, this is going to take about $3 million of equity going into the project. But in 3 to 5 years, we've more than doubled our money on the $3 million going in the project. So if things hold out and we like the location, it's still available, et cetera, this is a deal we do. This deal goes into the pile of deals that we would do. So you've seen we've gone from $300,000 to $3 million of what it costs to go in a deal. Usually we'll bake into our raise a little bit, 5 to 10% for carrying costs, or we'll bake that into the loan. So I hope this helps you. I'm not sure the person that asked this question, or if you have a similar question, what your goals are, how big a projects, how much money you're working with, but I've tried to throw 3 different type of scenarios in today's market with today's numbers out there so you can get a sense. Now, I went real quick over these in the boot camp, which is coming up in a couple weeks. If you followed this, great. If you're wondering where these numbers came from, what the relationship between one number to another number is, if you'd like to learn more about how we look at projects, the boot camp would be perfect for you. So feel free to find out more information about it. I'm limiting the number of people in there. I only have, in the current boot camp, I'll only have one person in each kind of part of the country or wherever their market area is. I won't put two people from the same city in. So we're limited in the number of people that can be there. But if you're interested, you can click below and find out more about it. But I hope this has helped. 3 different projects, all being looked at today using today's numbers. I will see you next week. My name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer to do our detailed analysis, and where we literally lay out year by year how these things are going to look. You can find out more about it at storageworldanalyzer.com or creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com. Look forward to being with you again soon. Thank you very much.